This is the new Tesla Model 3. This is the official production vehicle. This is not a rumor. This is not a leak. And man, it's been a long time coming. And the formal debut of this car was a little anticlimactic, if I'm being honest, mainly because there was no formal announcement in the US. It was rolled out in certain parts of Europe and in Asia, and it was given early access to some YouTubers over there. So in the beginning, people were confused. Is this real? Is this fake? And it was only when those videos started coming out that people started realizing, no, this is the actual production Tesla Model 3. And so far, based on some questions I posted on social media, it really seems as though the crowd is split. Half the people think that this is a very significant overhaul to the vehicle, while others are basically saying, dude, it's the exact same car. So today I want to do a quick first impressions review of the new Tesla Model 3, really talking about what's similar and what's different, so you can get a better understanding of what this car really is. Now, before we jump into the review, in case you're new here, I'm Jason. I would really appreciate it if you take a quick second to press that thumbs up button. It really does help me out. And if you're interested in checking out the latest tech, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Okay, first, let's talk about physical design, and let's start with the front of the vehicle because in many ways, the Tesla Model 3 got kind of a facelift. The most noticeable difference is going to be with the headlights. They're a bit more slimmed down than before, which gives the Model 3 a much more sleeker look. It has this cleaner, straighter line, which is quite a deviation from the bulbous Porsche-esque look that Tesla's been using for a long time. I love the update to the daytime running lights. It's a bit more subdued, but gives it a much more luxurious look and feel, and it makes the Model 3 look a lot more mature than it did before. The other big changes with the bumper, there's no more fog lights at the bottom, which again makes for a much cleaner look. Plus, Tesla got rid of that bumpy, curvy aesthetic that some people thought made the Model 3 look a bit too playful. You instead get a very sharp straight line, which makes the car look a lot more sleek. Again, all of this comes together to make the Model 3 look a lot more mature in my opinion, which I think is a good thing. Now, the other component of the Model 3's physical design that has gone through a significant change is going to be in the back. You can see that the taillights have been modified for a sportier look, and these are actually singular pieces that are attached to the trunk, so there's no split down the middle anymore. Now, I always thought that the taillights in the Model 3 were the most vanilla thing, so I am glad that they've made some changes here that gives the car a bit more personality with that viewpoint. And I'm also glad that they didn't do anything too crazy that would fundamentally change the look of the car. It's a very nice adjustment that still holds on to the essence of the Model 3 that so many have come to love. The only other difference on the rear is that it no longer uses the T Tesla logo. It has the spelled out Tesla emblem instead. Again, another subtle change that I think works really well here. Again, it gives the car a bit more of an elevated look. Now, the side profile is where the Model 3 is going to look very familiar, and that makes a lot of sense because this is still using the same platform that the Model 3 has been using basically since it was born. Now, in order to distract you from that, Tesla has changed their wheels, both their 18-inch wheels and their upgraded 19s. The stock aero wheel caps have changed to a darker black color, and the new 19-inch rims have this silver finish that I'm not sure if I like yet. I don't know if it's just me, but that crinkle at the top of the spoke does look a bit awkward. I'm gonna have to see it in person before I make any final judgments, but all to say, I am glad that Tesla at least upgraded the wheels. It helps mask the fact that the sides really haven't seen that much change. But let's actually go inside the new Model 3, and again, you're gonna see some things that look very familiar and also some things that look very different. One big difference is that yes, you do get perforated chairs, which does mean that you get both heating and cooling on the front and passenger seat, which is great. The material for the dashboard has also upgraded, so you don't have any more wood finish, which I know is going to make a lot of people happy. Not everyone is a big fan of that. Now, the center screen may look the same, but it does have a smaller bezel and it's a bit more responsive with the updated hardware. The ventilation system has also been updated, which should make it easier to control the climate in the cabin. And probably my favorite new addition to the cabin is the ambient lighting. It's something I've wanted for a very long time. It gets very dark in the Model 3 at night, so having this ambient lighting should make it a lot warmer for everybody inside. Plus, Tesla added a lot more sound dampening and acoustic glass across the entire vehicle, which should make the car a lot more quiet, which is great. Pair that with the new tires that are specifically designed to be quieter, this should make for a much more peaceful ride inside the Model 3. But when it comes to the interior, there are two major changes, one good and one kind of bad. Let's start with the bad. We all kind of knew this was coming, but the new Model 3 does not have any stocks, which I feel as though most people feel is a pretty big negative. You have these touch capacitive buttons for your blinkers, which I feel as though it's going to take me forever to get used to. But the good news is you do get an updated steering wheel, which looks pretty nice, and the horn is in the center where it should be. So it is a little bit of a give and take here, but I'm glad they didn't go completely in the wrong direction. Now, the really good and kind of unexpected thing that came to the interior is the new rear screen that's in the back seat. This provides the riders in the back access to the climate control and the infotainment system. This is clearly modeled off the more expensive Model S and Model X, and this does a lot to appeal to folks, especially with families. And outside the physical design, there are some other notable changes that we need to talk about. Number one, Tesla has equipped this car with an updated suspension, which should make for a bit of a smoother ride. This is nice because one of the most common complaints was that the Model 3 felt a bit bumpy when going over harsh roads, so I'm interested to see how much of an improvement is made here. There's also an improved sound system with more speakers, which is exciting because Tesla has already been crushing it with their audio system. And I'm really hoping that they get rid of this whole partial premium thing and just go with the full-fledged audio system in each variant of the car. There's a pretty noticeable difference between the partial and the full premium, so it would be nice if every Model 3 came with the same amazing sound system. Now, this hasn't really been confirmed in any of the reviews yet, but it looks as though that the Model 3 has a front bumper camera, which we've been expecting. This does align with a lot of the information that was coming out of the leaks, and this should make all the features associated with autopilot a lot better. And last, and honestly kind of impressively, all the Model 3s have seen an increase in range, which is really great. The standard range is now estimated to go 344 miles, with the long range going up to 421, which is pretty amazing. And I think how all these changes to the Model 3 can come together in a very meaningful way is gonna come down to one major thing, and that's the price. Now, pricing in the US hasn't come out yet, but early rumors suggest that the Model 3 isn't gonna see that big of an increase in price. Now, I don't think it's gonna be the starting price of $40,000 for the standard range like it is today, but I'm hoping it doesn't exceed 42. At that price, with these upgrades, I think it makes the Model 3 an extremely compelling choice to go with within the EV market, and I really wouldn't be surprised if it continues to be one of the most popular cars in the world. But I do want to pass the conversation on to you guys. Whether you have an older Model 3 or are in the market for the new one, tell me what you guys think about this new update. Do you think it's significant enough to maintain the Model 3's reputation? Or do you think it's just the same car wrapped in a different skin? Curious to get your thoughts. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. And if you're interested in knowing in more detail how my experience has been with my Tesla, check out these videos here. They're going to help you be as informed as possible.